Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Let's talk about 3 trader mindset techniques that I think are really important to help you just think better as a trader and about yourself. I think if you can master these 3 techniques, you could go from wherever you are as a trader, winning, losing, whatever, to being much more consistent as a winning trader. So let's start out with the sunk cost fallacy. Now, the sunk cost fallacy is sort of a behavioral psychology concept rooted in behavioral economics, where when someone invests in something, they feel they need to stick with it, even if it's not serving them anymore. And obviously, the context of what we're talking about is trading, but let's start out with something unrelated to trading to help you understand the concept. Let's say it's, March or whatever, and you are able to buy some baseball tickets to one of the early Chicago Cubs games. Sorry, St. Louis people, but, I'm from Chicago. So you buy these baseball tickets, 4 of them, and it turns out that day is one of those unseasonably cold, freezing days. Now, if you've ever been to an April game in Wrigley Field, oh my gosh, they can be miserable. And let's say to boot, it's kind of drizzling. They're going to play the game anyway because it's not that bad as far as there's no thunder. They're going to play the game, but it's cold and freezing and wet, and you're not going to enjoy it. But you paid for these tickets, so maybe you go anyway. Doesn't really make any sense. Just because you paid for it doesn't mean that you have to get the miserable experience out of it, right? Well, people do that in trading all the time. They buy these calls or the spread or the straddle or whatever it is, and it starts not working out, starts losing, and they feel, you know what, I'm in this, I paid for it, I'm going to hold on to this losing trade, even though it's a losing trade because, darn it, I'm committed to it. Well, you're not committed to it, and you don't have to be, and the best traders overcome that. Now, the second is what we call the status quo bias, which is kind of in some ways related a little bit. And the status quo bias is exactly what it sounds like. You want to continue on with whatever the status quo is. And so, maybe that is a long option position where you're losing on time decay, and you have the trade and you decide to keep it and not manage it properly. Like I said, in a lot of ways it's related to the sunk cost fallacy, but it's a little bit different too. In fact, here's one way that it is different. Let's say you have a trading plan that you create and it ends up working for a pretty good month, but then the next month you actually lose money over that entire month. And the month after that, you actually lose money. Well, I would have to go and change my entire trading plan. I don't know, I'll keep it. Maybe I just had some bad luck. No, that's the status quo bias getting into your mind and making you make bad decisions. Now, let's talk about a more positive aspect, and that is just a positive attitude. Now, if you have a positive attitude, you're not going to change what the market does. The market's going to do whatever it does. You have absolutely no control over that, no matter how positive an attitude you have. But when you have a positive attitude, it can help you to shrug off the losses and focus more on the gains and trade your trades more like just a plain old system or like a game instead of being emotionally involved. You just stay focused, you stay happy, and you end up trading better. So anyway, those are 3 simple trader mindset techniques that can serve you well. I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart.